War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells classic novel. Hi, I'm Gary Lovisi, and we're going to take a look at the classic novel, classic science fiction novel now, in various paperback editions. First of all, a little bit of background. This was really the first real science fiction novel that was published. It was published in 1898. H.G. Wells was born in 1866 and he died in 1945. When he wrote this novel in 1898, the term science fiction had not even been invented or discovered yet. There were earlier science fiction novels like Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's book from 1818, and other Jules Verne books and others. But this was really the first kind of science fiction with interplanetary creatures, and it was a stunning novel. Some of the early paperbacks are really very cool. This is the pocketbook number 947 from 1953. This shows the alien spaceships that came to Earth to attack, destroy destroy London and destroy England. This is from the George Pal movie. This shows a little bit more. This version, this is the Airmont Classic from about 1971. This one shows the cover of a more exactly what the Martian kind of machines look like. You can see a little bit of similarity to Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, in this with these giant, almost Transformer-like kind of machines and stuff that are fighting, humans, destroying everything. Here's another similar one. This is a Bantam Classic. So he wrote this book before the term science fiction had even been invented. It has accurate science of the day, and it was a natural and rational extrapolation of events of the future as he was able to see them in the time of 1898. It's a science fiction terror novel. The monsters, the Martians, the creatures, they're bug-eyed monsters, but for their day, when he was writing this book in 1898, their appearance to readers was stunning and horrifying. They were loathsome and disgusting, and they were really, when people read this book in those days, were really horrified by them. They were truly alien. They were squid-like kind of creatures. They had powerful minds that could control people, and this was one of the first novels about the destruction of the Earth and destruction of humanity by an alien invasion. And in that case, it's a seminal science fiction work, very important, but it was also a terrorizing novel that people read in those days. And even today when you read it, it's just a great story of how a regular person encounters the invasion and how it progresses on. And it takes place in England. Wells was English, and it takes place in the destruction of London and the English countryside. And meanwhile, it's going on all over the world, but this novel is centered in England pretty much. And it's a truly horrifying book. He does not hold back on his descriptions of what the aliens, how horrifying they are, and what their plan is to do for humanity, because they have no care for humanity at all. Some of the other versions of this book, very cool covers, and this is a Tor Classic of War of the Worlds. This is an Airy book, or Airy book with Dwayne Myers cover art. This was a 2-for-1 Walmart special. I don't know why they put that stupid sticker on the art, but it's not a sticker. It is printed in the cover of the book. This one I like a lot. Then there's this one here, an Andor Classic. different versions of the aliens, different versions of their machines that are destroying humanity. This is another tour book. This might be a David Alexander cover. This is kind of like the way it appears. It's very similar to the George Powell movie with this giant machines shooting all kinds of death rays and heat rays and stuff at fleeing humans. This is advanced reader copy from 2005 of a New York NYRB edition with Edward Gorey cover on it. And then there's The War of the Worlds. There's various other continuations of this. Now, of course, you know about Orson Welles' War of the Worlds broadcast in 1938, which was based upon this book, and he modernized it and set it in New Jersey. But what I'm going to do is continue with the original H.G.Wells version, and then other books that continued that version of the book. And this is a pocket book from the 1990s. It's by J.M. Dillard, and it's based on a television episode, The Aliens, War of the Worlds, The Resurrection. So that's a... Then there's Door book number 215, which is by George H. Smith, a science fiction writer. The Second War of the Worlds. And in this one, the Martians try to invade the Earth again. They do a second try. That's a sequel to that, to the original book. And then there's another sequel to it, Forrest Ackerman. This is a Powell science fiction classic from 1969. Forrest J. Ackerman presents Invasion of Mars by Garrett P. Serviss. This is the Garrett P. Serviss book. This was written, this is a 1969 Powell paperback edition, but it reprints this novel that was written many decades before. The next one is Invasion by my friend and a great guy, great writer, great editor, publisher, Robert Reginald, who founded Borgo Press and a whole bunch of other things. And this is from Underwood Books. This is Invasion, big trade paperback. It's actually 3 books. Bob wrote signed this and inscribed this to me. And it's 3 books. It's a trilogy of the invasion of the Earth. And it's just a great, incredible book. And if anybody's interested in further editions and information on the War of the Worlds in paperback, there's this issue number 99 of Paperback Parade, where we go into more detail on the various books, and it has an extensive article on all the various books. Some of them, as I've shown you, many others that I haven't, and just a story of paperback printing and publishing of this book, and a whole bunch of other things. So Paperback Parade that you might be interested in. Various crime, science fiction. So there you have a look at The War of the Worlds in paperback. Truly a seminal science fiction work from 1898, if you can imagine that Wells was writing this book. This is a book you should read again. If you haven't read it, or if you have read it, go back to it again. You're going to be surprised how good this book is. You'll enjoy it very much. And again, it's a classic that's very special, very ahead of its time. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this little look brief look at it. And if you did, give us a thumb up and a like, and we'll see you next time.